Metal Gear Solid 3 is one of my favorite video games of all time. I must have beaten it like 15 or 16 times back on PS2. And I know that times have changed, but the way that people play Metal Gear haven't. You're still gonna try to play slow, sneak, all cautious, and then they find you out and then you obliterate and destroy everything and everyone in sight. But remember,
this is a stealth mission. Got that?
Right, so today I'm gonna share with you guys some tips that hopefully will allow you to sneak through everything much easier. Whether you are a newcomer to this game or if you're an OG, maybe you will find some information that is new here. This game is very deep, there is so much to go through. But let's get the obvious stuff out of the way first. As you know, in this game there is a stamina meter. Stamina meter is a bar below your HP bar, and if it dips too low, Snake will be hungry, and this means that he's not gonna be able to regenerate HP as fast, but what's even worse is that he's not gonna be able to aim straight. So always keep an eye on your stamina meter, always feed Snake, don't let him be hungry, always try to keep it above 50% because that is the threshold where your aim will get worse if you dip below it, so keep that in mind. The other huge mechanic in this game is obviously camouflage. You wanna blend in with the environment as much as possible, so whenever you're in a new place or you see like a slight change in scenery, make sure to check out the menu, the camouflage menu, pick up the correct outfit that will make you less visible to guards. And it goes without saying, this is a stealth game, so if you take out any enemies, make sure to hide the bodies so that a patrol doesn't find them and be on caution or alert. Now let's get to the proper gameplay stuff. In Metal Gear Solid 3, enemies have the hearing of Daredevil. It does not matter how fast or slow you are walking, they can hear you if you are within their hearing radius. So even if you are holding the gun hoping to hold up that enemy, even if you're walking extremely slowly, they will still hear your footstep and they will turn around and try to find you, right? So in this game there is an actual button, and on the PlayStation it is like the default control, it is the L1 button, and that is the only way that you will be able to approach enemies without them being able to hear you. So if you want to get a hold up on an enemy, freeze and make them drop their weapons, well, that is what you may want to do. Unfortunately, Snake moves absurdly slow when doing this, so in a crowded environment where there is a lot of enemies, it might be difficult to do that, and typically your movement will be slower than the enemies, so it might be hard. What I would actually recommend is you trying to get to a close proximity to the enemies as much as possible, and once you're there, just go in for a CQC takedown or a grab, and they will detect you, but that won't trigger the alarm state if you're quick enough. And generally you want to go for interrogations as much as possible, but I'm gonna get into that a little bit later. Now I know that holding up enemies is really cool, but the main benefit of it is that they get to drop their items, but you can get that in another ways. If you knock down an enemy by making them sleep or by killing them, grab them and drop them, and typically they will drop the items that they were holding, and obviously putting enemies to sleep is a huge part of this game. You got your tranquilizer gun, and if you shoot an enemy, even if you didn't get a headshot, typically after a couple of seconds they will go down, but if you got a headshot or a groin shot, that actually will knock out enemies immediately as well. Now the most common strategy is to hide within tall grass and get to the edge so that you're able to shoot in first person, get an accurate shot, go for the headshot and put them to sleep. But one thing that you can do that will help you a lot is, even if you are in tall grass, press the L3 button and Snake will stand up a little bit, take a peek. Now the good thing about this is that it does not change how visible you are to the enemies. So you can go above grass, take a look at who's there without altering your visibility whatsoever. That's a really good and easy way to take shots without having to be at the edge of the grass just for you to do that. And obviously a big part of this game is how you can direct enemies. You wanna isolate the soldiers as much as possible so that you have an easier time taking them down, and there there are so many tools at your disposal that will allow you to do this. You can equip some of your food as items and then throw it, and if the enemies actually see the items, they will go check it out, and that can give you a clear shot at them without the others seeing them. That could be great. Obviously, if you are leaning towards a wall, you can press the R2 button, the game will say make noise, and the enemies will go over to see like what was happening, what is that noise, and that can let you like take them down. So just a quick note about the cover system, because I know that in this game peeking from cover can be a little bit annoying and the stickiness is weird. So if your back is to a specific cover and you want to peek right or left, just tap the directional stick, the analog stick, a very slight tap towards up left, up right, and that's how you will peek left and right, because if you try to move it all the way to left or right, Snake will then unglue to the wall. It's a little bit weird, so a simple flick to up right, up left should do it. Hey there, hope you're enjoying the video. If you're liking the video so far but you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. I mean, we got an amazing team going up. Join the Mura's EX-Men. We even got like the Emma and Magneto combo, so you know we're gonna dominate. Excuse the silliness and enjoy the rest of the video. Another thing that is really cool is your equipable sonar item. If the enemy is in close proximity, you can press the send pulse and they will actually hear it and they will try to check it out as well. You got magazines that you can throw. You got obviously the books where if you lay it down, the enemies will see it. They will be absolutely glued to it and you can sneak past them. The strongest thing about the books is that the enemy will be glued to it forever. This enemy, you're pretty much taking them out of commission, and unless you go directly in front of them, they're not gonna see you, they're not gonna listen to you, they are totally out of commission. And obviously you can also leave other enemies' bodies as bait, so that when their mates found them, they will go check it out and then you will be able to take them out. There's so much that you can do in this game to direct enemies towards specific places where it will be easier for you to take them on. Now let's move over to some advanced techniques that are really fun, and you could get really creative and show you how much and how cool this game really is. So one thing I talked about was how it is important to interrogate enemies, because when you interrogate them, they will typically tell you valuable information.
Speak. There's some ammo.
This information could be that there is a food storage at some place in the area you're at, or there is a weapon storage room at that area. And if you actually find the storage rooms where they're keeping the food or the items, the weapons, you can set up TNT there and bam, make it explode. Now this will have ramifications on your next encounter, because the enemies in the next area, well, depending on what you ruined, depending on what you destroyed, they will be affected differently. If you took out their weapon storage, they will only have one clip, one magazine. So even if you went into alert mode, even if they found you, if they completed their clip, they will not be able to shoot you anymore. But what's more fun is if you actually ruined a storage for food, because the next area they will be all hungry. Oh, I'm hungry. Oh, I want to eat. And that is just so much fun, because this makes them weaker. So even if you just rolled at them, they will go down. And if you throw food at them, throw food as a floor, they will pick it up and they will eat it. So you can just throw poisoned food, you can throw rotten food and make them go on and like die from poison, which is actually really hilarious when you think about it. Now I talked about rolls earlier, and roll can be done by pressing the triangle button, but the thing about roll is that if you hold down the roll button, Snake will roll into a prone stance, and that can be really cool if you want to cover a specific distance. You see an enemy up close and you have to get there really fast, and you want to maintain low visibility. That can be a really cool way to cross the distance really fast and maintain the low visibility. Another really cool advanced trick that you could do is if you knock down an enemy, or if you just seen an enemy, you can shoot at the radio, and even if they covered you, they will not be able to call radio calls or friends call for backup, which also can be like a really fun way to mess around with the enemies. Now let's say that you did get found out and now they're in alert phase. now you have to fight. One cool tip about this game is you can quick reload. So instead of pressing square to reload manually, you can just de-equip and then equip whatever weapon you have. Simply flick the right D-pad twice and bam, you got a quick reload, which obviously is very helpful in the middle of a fight. Now say that you're in this place and it's getting really annoying. They keep sending enemies, and you just wanna get the alert phase off. You can equip the fake death spell. Pretty much fake your own death. Use it. The game over screen, Snake is dead, and the enemies will approach you, they will think you're dead, and they will go on with their day, and they will leave you. And then you can use the revival build to bring yourself back to life. That's a really cool trick, especially in places later in the game where it can get like really crowded, and it can be very difficult to go off with the alert stance. And there is just so many things to this game. There's obviously like the cardboard box, there is the frequencies that you can find that will heal you, call for airstrike. There is so much that you can do in Metal Gear Solid Delta, much more than I could cover in a simple video. And there are a ton of other tricks to this game, like how you can skip the boss fight for the end entirely. But let me know, do you want to see more tips and tricks for Metal Gear? Maybe share some of the secrets that maybe you don't know about this game, and I would absolutely love to do it. I really love this game so much, and I'm very glad that I got to play it, to be honest. I miss it so much. One of my favorite games. If you like this video, please leave a like or a comment, it helps the channel so much. I will be leaving a link to the Patreon, Discord, Twitter and Twitch pages in the description. Thank you so much for watching and stay safe.